Hello, it's Jennifer Nash-Naiyer, and I'm here in my office, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit today about unresolved grief. Unresolved grief, according to the grief recovery method, includes a couple different things. Two of them I'm going to talk about today, as far as wishing that we did something different, better, or more, and then also the lost hopes and expectations that we have, and kind of saying goodbye to those and letting go of those. And so one part of unresolved grief that I've experienced in my life and kind of continue to and kind of to navigate through is the grief of not being a mother. And just to give you a little bit of background, I look at myself as someone who's not a mother due to circumstances. And when I was growing up, I was in a very religious culture that looks at and I was taught and valued the role of mother as one of the, let's be honest, the most important role for a woman to have. And so as I was growing up, it felt like I didn't even question being a mother, and had a very strong desire to do that in my, pretty much when I got into my 30s. I started to really think about it and feel that I really wanted that to happen. What was also happening is that I wasn't meeting anyone. I was kind of a avid dater and trying to find that person, which was kind of a grief all on its own. And then was able to find someone in my late 30s who became my husband, and I'm very grateful for that relationship. However, within that, it really became clear once we talked about it and kind of where I was in my life, the different choices that kind of got me to where I was, and the inability to, the time just wasn't working, and so we made the decision that we wouldn't have children. And even though that was a decision and a choice that I made, there was still really, and it continues to be, at times, unresolved grief about that, wishing that I would have done something different, better, or more. And then also just all that, so many years of just that hope and expectation, and really coming from a culture that really revered and heralded motherhood as really kind of what defines you as a woman. And so that unresolved grief also about, okay, so then if I'm not going to be a mom, then what kind of role or what would be as important of that? And this plan B that I'm living then, is that valid as well? And really the grief comes from that idea that no, it's not as valid. And so for me, it's been a real journey to be able to, it's been a real journey to really kind of come to peace with that. And I want to share, I want to share one of the comments that kind of, without fail, and with more work it's gotten less so, but without fail really brings up the fear and sadness, and I believe the unresolved grief part is when women will say, and there's no malintent, I believe from this, and they're just expressing their truth, but when a woman will say, wow, until I was a mom, I didn't feel love, or this kind of love, or this kind of love that I feel for my children is like nothing other, no other love, as if it's definitely another worldly love, and just something that kind of, if we're comparing love, it would be the best love ever. And at first glance, kind of when I'd hear it before, like if I'd see it on Facebook, it would send me into this kind of deep, dark hole where I'd have to kind of, or I would kind of sit in it and just kind of feel a lot of fear and a lot of anger that, wow, will I ever feel this kind of love if I'm not a mom? Some jealousy and anger towards that person because it's like, I want to feel that kind of love. And then also just feeling, wow, so the love that I feel for my husband, the love that I feel for my nieces and nephews, the love I feel for my mom, for my siblings, for my friends, for my clients, if I'm looking at it in that comparison, and I feel like unresolved grief is kind of a place where we do compare what I wish was different, better, or more. I wanted to know that the love that I felt was valid, and it felt really valid, it felt really strong, it feels as if my heart will burst. And so I think with more awareness and kind of more examination and stepping away from it and really coming clear with what it is that I'm grieving, and really kind of identifying that the love that I feel is really valid, that we all have individual and unique relationships with others, and that although I may not never know the love of what it feels like to be a mother, I do know the love that I feel with people that I come in contact with, and that I'm able to really connect with and care for and nurture. Anyway, that's a little bit of my journey. It comes up at different times. Always, though, a clue when that feeling of fear and deep sadness, it's a clue to me to kind of look within and to kind of really just know that there's still that unresolved grief, and that I need to kind of spend some time with that, and be able to look at that and kind of know that any comparison that we make, regardless if it's true for someone that they have never, that is a beautiful thing, and in order to feel that joy with someone else, in order to embrace what they're saying and to be really happy, and also I think in order to be really grateful for what we have, looking at the unresolved grief is a really important thing to do. Now, if this is something new that you've never thought about, heard about, if you have women in your life that aren't moms, this may not be their experience, but I would encourage you to kind of reach out to them and maybe share this video with them, or kind of just even find out if this is their experience. I think that would help a lot with unresolved grief, to be able to have those that care about us to reach out and help to have conversations about this. So thank you so much for listening. If you've heard something that felt really good to you, or felt resonated with you, and you want to read more or see more, please go to my website, jennifernashnayertherapy.com. Thank you, and have a great day.